New survey confirms anti-LGBTQ attacks in USA increased 112% over last 24 months. In the last 2 years, anti-LGBTQ attacks have surged by 112%. GLAAD's new Anti-LGBTQ Extremism Reporting Tracker has documented 1,109 incidents nationwide from June 2023 to 2024. This stark rise includes over 450 protests, 330 propaganda drops, 320 acts of vandalism, 200 bomb threats, 130 assaults, and 45 cases of arson, resulting in 161 injuries and 21 deaths. Transgender individuals and educational institutions have faced particularly harsh targeting. The alert data highlights over 567 attacks on transgender and gender non-conforming people, 360 incidents involving schools and libraries, and 160 violent threats towards drag performers. Healthcare providers offering gender-affirming care were also attacked, with over 140 incidences recorded. Barbara Simon, GLAAD's Senior Director of News and Campaigns, emphasized the tracker's role in educating the media on the scope of anti-LGBTQ violence. She said, quote, "Alert contextualizes these incidents for experts to understand larger systems of hate," end quote. This is scary, the number of attacks, and this is while we have a Democratic president.
Right.
You know, what does the future hold?
I was just going to say that.
Well, good thing I caught you before you did.
It's like a continuation of what we were just talking about,
Exactly.
to be fair, though.
It's scary out there.
It's more of the unknown, but under a Democratic president, this has happened. Now, what will happen if he wins?
Right, because now you open the book to 2025, and there's the playbook, and it tells you exactly how it's going to happen.
Exactly. What I've noticed, though, and this is, I mean, it's horrible, the potentiality of what we could be facing in the short term, but, Glenn and I are of a certain generation, and hey, I'm there too. I'm with you, Glenn. So,
Mom and Dad are fighting.
We became activists because we had nothing. So we became activists because we wanted to live in the kind of community that is open and accepting. So we had to fight to make it that way. And then, I don't know what generation it was, but like maybe a generation or two behind us were complacent because they watched us really get out there, and we got, okay, yeah, we have, especially in Miami-Dade County and in South Florida, we have our rights now. We're not going to do anything. Oh, we have marriage. We're stopping. We don't have to do anything. So the younger people now are becoming more politically active. They're becoming more aware of what's happening in their environment. They're not riding on the coattails of the rights that we fought so hard for and won and thought it was over.
Right.
The younger people now are seeing it. They are becoming activists themselves. And so I'm regardless of what happens, I'm hopeful for the future.
Yeah.
But in the immediate, present, it is scary.
And I think that a lot of youth, they grew up from 9/11, COVID, gun shootings across the country, Sandy Hook.
Right.
And so their lives have been normalized by this type of thing.
Right.
But they've also been normalized that the LGBTQ community has been out there and relatively, and by no means do I mean not attacked, but we had a pretty couple of years of wins, marriage equality, all that kind of stuff. A lot of it, you go back to HIV and AIDS, which I think helped move us forward quicker, because when two loved ones couldn't go visit each other in the hospital, that moved forward the ability or the need to get married, or the need to be recognized in civil unions where you could go visit your partner and your parents can't override, you've been living with someone for 10 years.
Right.
So I think that the younger generation now is seeing all these things that they have, and I'm hopeful, especially in communities like ours here in South Florida, where it's pretty damn liberal and great for the most part.
There's still a lot of violence and attacks.
Yes, but that the reason that they're standing up now and getting politically motivated is because they have something to lose.
Right.
The generations, 2 generations before them, didn't have to fight for things because nothing was, quote unquote, under attack like it is now. Right. You know, we were always fighting to improve, get more rights approved, but we weren't hitting a wall. You know, when Clinton went and don't say gay. It was
don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell. Right. I mean, that was a big thing. You know, was it the right thing at the right time? At that point, it was pretty progressive and pretty groundbreaking that at least something was being done.
And he regrets actually doing
He does.
Yeah,
but there was a conversation.
Many times, right?
And the conversation for people that don't know us is based on fear.
Right.
You know, when you live in rural, these little farm towns, you only know people that are like you.
Well,
and you move away if you're not like them.
And when you're on those small farms in those small towns, you know.
Tell me more. Were you driving a tractor?
No, but I mean,
did you have
I hate social media. Hate it. But to this point, these kids are on their phones and they're learning from social media. And these are the same kids who are becoming activists and seeing all the problems. So for that, I do thank social media because as much of a curse as I think it is, I think it's been a blessing to LGBTQ youth.
Yeah.
So.
And we've had some real tragedies like Matthew Shepard.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that is also rings a bell for people to go, wait a minute. You know, and maybe a lot of people moved away from some of these small towns because of that kind of attack that they needed to go to the big city. Got to go to the big city and be safer. So I don't know.